Talk All-Stars.
Al Roker, Dick Cavett,
Only on CNBC.
Geraldo Rivera.
The evolution of talk is complete. On CNBC, first in talk.
And howdy, folks. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Tom. This is the Colorcast, up and running now for Wednesday night, the last day of November 1994 that there will ever be in the history of the universe as we know it today. Joining us tonight, and we've been fortunate here at CNBC for the past almost 2 years to be hammocked between two very successful cable television shows. They're both very highly rated, and they've been of enormous value to us in giving us larger audiences. And so tonight, before we leave, we wanted to spend a little time with two of the real stars of this operation, Geraldo Rivera, who precedes us with Rivera Live, who was absolutely sensational last night, with Nicole Simpson's sister. In fact, this videotape of this program was all over all the networks tonight, including the NBC Nightly News. And by the way, if it ain't Brokaw, don't fix it, okay? And a little bit later on, Bob Berkowitz. Bob, how is your penis, Berkowitz, will join us. The host of Real Personal, certainly the most talked about television program in all of cable television. So Geraldo and Bob for a time tonight. And then one of our pals who stopped by, even though she was married only last Saturday, the great comic Elayne Boosler, and your phone calls along the magic of the toll-free highway coming up on the Wednesday night Colorcast. Now, last night here, I was talking with Greg Kinnear. When people do shows like his, later with Greg Kinnear on NBC, or when I did the Tomorrow Show, or when I started radio, they say, well, you know, what do you really want to do with your life? Like, what you're doing isn't enough. I'm sure they didn't go to Johnny Carson and say, you know, when you finish the Tonight Show, what is it you have in mind for your life? And so, as I said to Greg last night, I said, you know, it'd be like going up to the Pope and saying, you know, after you're through being Pope, what would you want to do with the rest of your life? And somebody was paying attention. The person's name is Lee Barnett, who faxes in this information on the Pope's future. Tom, in answer to your question, the Pope has told me when he's finished being Pope, he wants to direct. You know, from the mouths of babes come words of wisdom. Then today, and don't roll this yet, we're in the debt of Bob Turr, the helicopter pilot for KCBS here in Los Angeles. And the pilot on this aircraft is Lawrence Welk III. Yes. Lawrence Welk's grandson. Isn't that something? Huh? If you've ever wondered what happened to Lawrence Welk's kids, now you know. They fly choppers in Southern California. I remember Welk. I knew him well when he was living. God rest his soul. His license plate on his car was a 1 and a 2. And I played golf with him on several occasions years and years ago when he was still active on the golf course. And you know how... and I'm not going to stand up, but you know how golfers, they fidget the club back and forth, you know, they fidget, and the hands up and down. And Welk would always go, a 1 and a 2. And then, whack, off it would go. He was a very, very cute guy. So anyway, Bob Turr and Lawrence Welk III were flying over the Santa Monica freeway today here in Southern California. And you can roll the tape, Jess. Here is what they found. This is 8 o'clock this morning on the 10 freeway, the Santa Monica freeway at Lincoln over in Santa Monica. A guy in a devil's suit is harassing drivers on the freeway. And you see this guy? There he goes right there. See him with the long tail, okay, sticking out there? Okay? Now, a lot of people thought he was stark naked, but they weren't. But we black boxed this guy just in case he was not wearing any clothes up front. The police finally were called after about 1 hour. Somebody had the good sense to call the cops and find out what this guy was doing there. And in a nutshell, here is what they were doing. A bunch of kids from UCLA were making a movie about the devil stalking California, or stalking the West, or some such thing. They've been in San Francisco, they've been in Oakland, they've been in Carmel, they've been in Santa Barbara. And up until now, nobody bothered them. And here you see the cops. I mean, do they have to cuff this guy? I mean, there was certainly no menace to anybody. And what's so odd about a guy running around in a red devil suit in broad daylight anyway? After all, this is Los Angeles. Santa Claus is pink out here. What's wrong with this guy? Anyway, he's a UCLA film student. His name is John Geary. And I'm sure his parents are proud that his name is being mentioned on national cable tonight. He's 27 years old. I guess somebody put up the bail because he's on the loose here in Southern California tonight, but I assume he's wearing normal attire. Finally, before we go to Geraldo and Bob back in Fort Lee, New Jersey, I'm in the debt of Jane Kane, who is a reader of the New York Daily News, and this one got past everybody. The dateline on this is November 1st, 1994, 30 days ago. And the headline is, and you will especially appreciate this, Broken Wind Busted Burglar. Let's go to the news, okay? A career criminal hiding in the bedroom closet of a home he had just burglarized almost escaped notice until a gas attack blew his cover, police said. And you know, if they speak there, they speak directly to me, okay? Richard Megplong was betrayed by a bout of flatulence as he hid in the closet of a home on Ocean Walk in the Fire Island Pines at 2:30 in the morning on Sunday, November 1st. Homeowner Michael Grissom thought he smelled a rat. He and a friend helped this guy, held this guy in the closet until police arrived. Basically, those are all the details. The press said to the cop, they said, "You're kidding. This guy let one go, and that's and that's how come you found him in the closet." And the cop says, "Man," he says, "you can't make this stuff up." You know? Anyway, Geraldo Rivera is here tonight. Bob Berkowitz is here tonight. Our lead-in and our lead-out on CNBC, and then a bit later on, Elayne Boosler. Ready or not, America, here they come. Fire up a Colortini and watch the pictures as they fly through the air.
This program is sponsored by Office Depot, taking care of business with guaranteed low prices on thousands of brand name office supplies.
Want to make your holiday shopping easy this year? Go to Office Depot. They got hundreds of great gifts at savings up to 60%. Cross pens starting from just $10. Leather briefcases at up to half off. Everything from electronic organizers and notebook computers to Mont Blanc pens. Hey, with so many gifts at guaranteed low prices every day, who do you think is one of our biggest customers? Nice suit.
Taking care of business for the holidays.
Now, places you have longed to visit, places you have only dreamed about, are closer than ever. Because of our alliance with British Airways, the U.S. Air Frequent Traveler program lets you earn free trips to over 300 cities in over 70 countries. Who said dreams can't come true?
I remember the day I said goodbye to baseball. I promised myself minor arthritis pain wouldn't hold me back. And hey, I gotta use this shoulder. That's why I still want strong relief. So I use Ultra Strength Bengay. It has 3 pain relievers. They only have 1. And doctors recommend Bengay the most. I promised myself arthritis pain wouldn't hold me back. Bengay helps me keep that promise. Ultra Strength Bengay. Nothing stronger.
The safety and traction of Quattro all-wheel drive. Child seat safety locks. No charge scheduled maintenance. Only one German luxury car offers all this, all at a price that's thousands less than you'd expect. The new Audi A6. Because somebody has to pave the way.
Thursday on Posner Donahue, desperate actions call for desperate measures as Serbia continues its Bosnian offensive. Is there a glimmer of hope for peace? Phil Donahue and Vladimir Posner take your calls on Bosnia Live Thursday on Posner Donahue.
I'm Bob Berkowitz. Where is sex going in the 90s? Are we pushing the envelope too far? Join us for a candid look at who's doing what with whom.
Tonight on Real Personal, only on CNBC.
Tonight, it's never politics as usual on Equal Time with Mary Matalin and exciting guests.
Sure hope we have time for all these shows coming up on CNBC tonight. Now, with the magic of satellite television, we join Bob Berkowitz and Geraldo Rivera, my colleagues in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Now, I was watching you on the monitor. By the way, the paper cups, fellas, are a nice touch. Jeez, come on. Get a mug, for God's sake. What were you fellas talking about and laughing about before we came to you? You seem to be having a very animated conversation.
You, Tom. We're talking about you.
Oh, stop it.
How can you break up the dream team? Look.
I know. Look at that.
You know, Charlie, look at that.
Which one's the goy is what we want to know.
No, we're gonna miss you, man. You know, I understand your desire and your instinct to go back to the big time, but
to the big bucks, of course.
It was a nice trio. It worked. It worked for a time.
Well, I think it's going to be fine with Charles Grodin when he joins us. He's an affable guy, and I think he's going to do just fine here.
I think he's going to be terrific, but he's got big shoes to fill, Tom. He really does. I mean, you've been doing this now for 30 years. Let me ask you a question. In the 30, 40, 50 years you've been doing talk shows like this.
Wait. What is it, a multiple choice? What is it, 30, 40, or 50?
Tonight, Tom. Huh? A little slow tonight, pal. What has changed in the years that you've been doing shows like this?
For me, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'll tell you what's changed, and that's the technology. When we first started 20-some years ago with Tomorrow for NBC, if you can believe it, kids, there were no satellite transmissions at all. Everything went on telephone lines, which meant you had to buy from AT&T the long lines. Yeah, we did shows on Tuesday that were seen in New York on Monday because we shipped the tapes back to New York. No satellite transmission.
We were speculating on what your new show at CBS would be like, and I think it's going to be pretty much like what you've been doing here at CNBC or what you did on ABC Radio or what you did at the old Tomorrow Show. Why break up the formula?
Hey, why fix something that's not broken? But let me ask Geraldo something here.
Well, I got a question for you.
But let me ask you because
it's the Rivera Berkowitz show.
Because you're hot right now. You had a stunning interview on the air last night with the sister of Nicole Brown Simpson, which made news across this country today. Okay. But in your own life and in your own perspective on this story, which you've been covering now from day one on your show here on CNBC. What do you think this interview brings to the mix that we've got going on here in the O.J. Simpson case?
Well, I think that what Denise's statements, heartfelt and sincere statements, bring to the mix is humanity. Nicole Brown had become almost a caricature. The television stations, they complained, the Brown family, especially the television stations in Los Angeles, almost made cartoon characters of Nicole and Ron Goldman. You've heard very little about them. You almost forget the fact that she was so hacked to death that her head almost came off. And what her appearance did was put a human face on the tragedy and the magnitude of the crime that O.J. Simpson, this very affable fellow, this fine actor and great running back, allegedly committed. So I think that that's what it did. It gave it a pulse. And I think that's why it was such compelling viewing, and that's why I was so pleased to put it on. I mean, this thing has been spin-doctored to death by the prosecution and the defense attorneys. That's what where the bulk of the information is getting out to the people. Shapiro doing his impromptu press conferences, Gil Garcetti and Marcia Clark, their own. For the first time, now you see that this is like you and me if this had happened in our families, God forbid. This is a person who hurts, a person who is hurt by statements made about her sister, a person who is bleeding inside. It reminds you that the cold reality is strip away the whole Brentwood, Bel Air, Hollywood connection, and what you have here is two dead people and a lot of mourning relatives and a guy who stands accused of the crime.
Who up until this point have had precious little say about their feelings and their position. One other question, and then I'll go on to both of you. What about the claim by Shapiro et al. Here in Los Angeles today that the presentation of these statements by the woman last night on your program make it impossible for O.J. Simpson to receive a fair trial anywhere in the United States? It seems to me that's painting, that the brush is painting very broadly here.
I think it's absolute baloney, and I would use much stronger language if I really was telling you what I felt in my heart. For Johnny Cochran to suggest that Denise Brown's appearance on our program last night was part of an orchestrated campaign to destroy the defendant's right to a fair trial is absolute bunk. Shapiro said something that he never should have said. He was extremely insensitive when he said, I understand that they are the victims' families emotionally involved. I forgive them. Shapiro, you go back to the Pope. Shapiro as Pope forgiving the victims' families for their emotional involvement. As I said, last night, you get emotionally involved when your kitten is missing or when someone breaks the headlight on your Mercedes. It's not emotionally involved. They're traumatized. They're devastated. These people are in the most horrible situation they've ever been in. And for him to suggest that this is part of an orchestrated campaign, he doesn't have any idea how I operate. I begged and pleaded with that woman to go on my daytime show. She absolutely refused to go on. It wasn't until she called me 10 minutes to 8 o'clock Eastern time and said, I just heard what Shapiro said. We're fighting mad. The family's prepared a statement. Can I come on the air in 70 minutes? That's how orchestrated it was.
Yeah. Let me ask you both this and have Bob answer first, since we haven't seen him for a couple seconds here. Both of you do programs in which you have to ask very sensitive, very direct questions, often about very delicate situations. Geraldo with the O.J. Simpson trial, you with people in sexual situations. How do you maintain the discipline, Bob, to ask those questions without making a mockery of it and without making a travesty of it?
Well, I probably am asked about 15 times a day, how do I keep a straight face? And I guess the answer is because I have so much respect for the people who come on the show. I have respect for the subject and respect for the audience. You know, it's so easy. It's such an obvious cheap shot to make fun of somebody because of their sexual interests or their sexual proclivities. I think that we get so much more out of people if we just ask them to tell their story. If we're honest brokers, I think one of the missions of Real Personal is that if we're comfortable talking about sex on national and even international television, seen on NBC Super Channel, that maybe the folks at home will get the idea that it's okay for them to talk about sex as well.
Hold it. This stuff goes out of the country?
Absolutely. We're as big in Europe as we are here.
No wonder Gat's in trouble. Jeez, holy man. This stuff goes across the water?
Can we ask you some questions now?
No, but let me ask Bob one more thing. Was there ever anything in the run of Real Personal? Because, I mean, you've established yourself as a career journalist, my lord. You covered the White House for CNN. You've covered some of the biggest stories. You're an award winner. Has there ever been a situation where you felt ticklish or embarrassed about the subject matter or a question?
Lots of times. If anybody, for example, brings up body piercing, I get queasy at the subject of that. Or some of the more extreme S&M stuff. I'm just not comfortable with that.
Really?
There are lots of subjects we won't bring up on Real Personal because we just don't think that it's appropriate or comfortable for me or for the viewer.
I want to know what they wouldn't touch on Real Personal, and then you guys, Geraldo has a question or two.
Your
and then
sex life, Snyder. We'll not touch your sex life on Real Personal.
Oh, you're dying to know, big fella, aren't you? We'll be right back with Bob and Geraldo from Fort Lee and your phone calls on the toll-free exchange. I'm Tom, and I'm proud and I'm paid to say you're watching CNBC Cable.
This is CNBC.
So, Mr. Rosette, what you doing?
Surfing the internet.
Don't look like a beach boy.
I'm editing Blood of the Pharaohs. This is from the University of Cairo. That's Queen Nefertiti.
Cool. Yeah, you guys kind of look alike.
Attractive. Intelligent. Responsible. But enough about the price. Experience the car it's attached to.
I sampled some 60 wines in the Jadot cellars, but so fine was the quality, I emerged more exhilarated than exhausted.
The extraordinary quality of Jadot's white wines has been matched by even more fabulous red wines.
We only make reds and whites, though our reviews produce the occasional blush. Louis Jadot, impeccable burgundies, from $7 to $150.
Hi, everyone. Steve Allen here to tell you about an important breakthrough that'll let you hear a whisper up to 70 feet away. It's the Whisper XL, an amazing electronic earpiece that lets you hear a pin drop from across the room. The same way binoculars magnify your vision, this tiny device magnifies your hearing. Just slip on the Whisper, turn up the volume, and you're ready for super hearing like never before. Don't turn up the TV, turn on the Whisper XL. Similar devices sell in catalogs for $200 and more. But if you call now, the Whisper XL can be yours for just $29.95. Think of it, just $29.95 for super powerful hearing. Give us a call and turn up the volume.
To order your Whisper XL, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-321-5200 or send check or money order for $29.95 plus $5.50 shipping and handling to 200 American Way, Roanoke, Virginia, or call 1-800-321-5200.
We're with Geraldo Rivera and Bob Berkowitz, my colleagues out of Fort Lee, who have kindly, in the case of Geraldo, stayed past the appointed hour tonight. Things that Real Personal wouldn't touch, Berko.
We've been asked to do shows about infantilism. I won't do that. Oof. I won't do it.
Good for you.
Daytime show? No, I won't do that either. I won't do anything involving children as a rule. We did one show with some recovering pedophiles. These are men who were pedophiles.
We know who they are, Bob.
Well, Tom, I was trying to protect you again, pal, but you won't let me. But they now go around to schools and tell teachers and parents what the signs are so they can be forewarned of any problems. But beyond that, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in any coercive sex or anything like that.
Good.
I'm interested. Real Personal is really a very mainstream show about sexuality. It's basically about couples. It's largely about...
He's selling the show. It's the highest rated show on cable, and he's selling it.
Well, why not?
It's a hit, kid. Hey, Geraldo, what's on your mind, my friend?
I think that because we only have scant minutes left with you on this network, you should allow Bob and I to ask you at least a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Geraldo.
You're far more intriguing, I think, especially at this stage of your career than either of us.
You're the senior statesman of the Troika.
And that also. We three share something in common, and maybe people know about it, maybe people don't, but all of us were fired by networks. You in a very public way when, I guess you were replaced, ironically, by the man who now is your kind of partner, Dave Letterman.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to you to go back triumphant, basically to the scene of your not, I won't say disgrace, but your severe professional disappointment?
Well, first of all, it wasn't a severe professional disappointment when you consider that we ran for 8.5 years. If we would have been on, Geraldo, for 26 weeks and drummed out, then I think you would have felt disappointed. But after 8.5 years, you know, shows have a lifetime, and it really came to its end at the proper time. And I don't consider this to be going back in any kind of triumph. I mean, you know, we're not running wars here. We're doing television programs. But I'll tell you what I think is interesting about Letterman and Tom late night at CBS. The whole late night picture has changed 1,000-fold from the days of, first of all, Steve Allen on The Tonight Show, and even before him, Jerry Lester and Dagmar on Broadway Open House, the wonderful years of Jack Paar, who created with his Tonight Show the element of crackling conversation late at night. I mean, here you had Jack Paar talking with Merriman Smith. You had Jack Paar talking with Elsa Lancaster. You had Jack Paar talking with Oscar Levant. There was a memorable night when Paar said to Levant, he said, "What do you do for exercise?" And Levant said, I stumble and fall into a coma. You know, wonderful conversation. And then the brilliant years of Johnny Carson.
What about you? I want to talk about you.
But I'm getting to me and to David Letterman, who I'll be in some kind of a partnership with on a late night schedule for the first time at CBS that goes beyond 12:30 at night. We are the last link to that time. We are the last link to that time when late night television was invented, not just to tell jokes and do stand-up comedy and sketches, all of which is fine, is done by Mr. Leno and O'Brien and Kinnear. That's all fine. But I feel late night television ought to be more than that. It ought to be a place where there is the kind of crackling conversations that you conduct on your program, that Berkowitz does on his, and that Lester and Downs and Paar and Carson did for so many years. That's where we fit in. We are the link.
Okay, so basically, though, you're going to do the same show that you've been doing here on CNBC and The Tomorrow Show. You're just doing it over at down the road at CBS.
Basically, you're correct. I mean, there'll be some cosmetic changes.
But Bob, do you buy his kind of mundane explanation for going back to a network as being another job? Don't you think that Tom is not being totally forthcoming when he suggests...
Why are you asking Bob what he thinks about what I said?
Help me here, because I think that you're
that's
elegantly...
And you always do this, Rivera. You always do this in the afternoon. You start it up by asking other people what they think about what he said.
All right.
And then people start throwing things, and you get your nose broken, and I know why it happens. If I were there right now, Rivera, I'd give you one right in the nose.
I used to listen to your late night radio show on ABC Radio here in New York. I thought it was terrific. I thought it was just the best damn thing on radio at the time. And I remember there was an edge and there was an anger in your voice and in your monologues when you would talk about network television.
Exactly.
And there were a lot of people, and you would name them by names, and I thought it was the greatest thing in the world because I think everybody is kind of afraid to say anything bad about anybody else in television. But Snyder got up there and said, so-and-so, bad guy, so-and-so, mean guy.
Yeah.
And said about Dan Aykroyd, he helped hasten prematurely my demise by his caricatures. Now you're going back. You know, Aykroyd's done okay for himself, but here's Snyder. Snyder's, I know it's not war, Tom, but it is war. And these network guys are, you know, they stab you in the back.
It's just...
Oh, listen, by the way...
You were middle-aged and you got fired. Now you're back. No, it's not. But, I mean, you're back. You're back. And here you are. You're back.
What do you mean I'm back, Geraldo? Geraldo, I never left, for heaven's sake. I did the Tomorrow Show. It evolved into ABC Network Radio for 5.5 years. It evolved into CNBC. It's evolved into CBS. So big deal. I'm back.
So CBS is just a job.
It's not just a job. It's CBS, after all. I'm very proud to be going to CBS.
You should be.
I'm very proud to go to CBS.
Don't be afraid to tell us, Tom, that you're human, too.
Of course.
You have pride,
but I'm not going to sit here, Geraldo, and tell you that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, because it ain't. And by the way, I know that there were a lot of people over there at the naked eye at CBS who weren't too excited about this move. I realized that not everybody was on board with this decision, okay, and that David Letterman lobbied for it and made it happen, and that was to my betterment.
Who was in second place?
And when I find out who those were, Berkowitz, that weren't for it, I'll let you know.
Their history, their ass is grass.
I don't care.
Hey, say that language from my show over there. This is Snyder's show. Who was second place? Who were the other people that were running for your job, Tom?
You know something, Bob? I don't know. I swear to God, I don't know.
Really?
I mean, they've told me I'm the only one they considered, but I'm not that stupid. Yeah. I know they made a presentation to Bob Costas because they were desirous of him doing something for CBS Sports. But, you know, I have no problem with that.
Do you think that, here's another maybe deep question. Should I ask Bob?
Yeah,
again, I'll use it as the point.
Listen, Rivera, I know you want to get out of there, but I got...
All right, stay as long as you
all right, hang on. Here comes the station break.
Let me ask...
This is a CNBC News Break. I'm Mike Salort. Signs tonight that Congress will pass a new world trade deal. An Associated Press poll shows GATT has enough backers to clear a key vote in the Senate. Scientists begin the first human test of an oral AIDS vaccine. A doctor has already said an injected version of the vaccine is safe and helps most patients fight the virus. Meanwhile, in France, they're lighting up the Eiffel Tower, a shining symbol of the fight against AIDS. The red ribbon was lit to mark tomorrow's World AIDS Day and an upcoming AIDS Summit. Rapper Tupac Shakur checks himself out of a New York hospital against doctors' advice. Shakur was shot 5 times during a robbery earlier today. All this as a jury deliberates sexual assault charges against the rapper. We'll have more Newsbreak in 30 minutes. See you then.
This is CNBC.
The CNBC Newsbreak is sponsored by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today?
Listen, this stuff that we make, it's powerful. It makes you powerful. Stuff that we make, it's powerful. Take it, listen, gather up your ideas, run with them. It makes you powerful. Just do something amazing. We're in your corner, and we can't wait to see what you're going to do. Stuff that we make, listen.
It's more than a screwdriver, it's the angle driver. It's better than a ratchet. It's the angle driver. Unlike any tool you've seen, the revolutionary angle driver is the perfect tool for any job. It's easy to use and powerful enough for the hardest jobs. Screw it. Drive it. Every angle is possible. All hard-to-reach places are now a snap with the most versatile tool in years. It replaces all these tools. Use it as a screwdriver, a nut driver, an Allen wrench, a Torx-type wrench, a Robert wrench, all either straight shaft or with the right angle attachment. Only the angle driver comes with a sure grip handle, 24 interchangeable bits and adapters, plus a compatible 14-piece socket set included in the shatterproof case. The angle driver becomes the world's shortest screwdriver. The gear system and sure grip handle gets all the torque you need for the toughest jobs. It's a great gift for every member of the family. The angle driver will interface with any standard power attachment and can be used with the bits and socket set included.
Call 1-800-971-5252 or send $19.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
By the way, if they're sending the comments in here, folks, you better get them in here real fast because after tomorrow, we ain't interested. So all right, now, Mr. Rivera, your closing arguments, and then there's a couple people on the phone who have questions for you two guys. Okay? And then we'll let you.
We're going to be around. Don't ask us. Ask you. I wonder. Dave Letterman does not strike me as a particularly sentimental person. He seems to me, you know, to come from that kind of National Lampoon dry wit, and he's very, very, very good. But was there any kind of sentiment in his seeking out? And he had a veto, I understand, on the fellow who, or the person who would follow him on the air. Was there any sentimentality with him seeking out the person that he had essentially bounced out of that position?
Let's okay, now, Geraldo, we're both grown-up people here, so let's realize one thing. David Letterman did not go to NBC and say, I want Snyder off the air. The management at NBC at the time, Grant Tinker, Brandon Tartikoff, whoever, made the determination that David Letterman was the man to take late night television into the 1980s. So there was never any incidents where Letterman and I had any hostility towards each other because this decision was not made based upon any of his actions, number one. Number two, the answer to your question is yes. If you go back over the press conference with Dave and I, August 9th, Dave said, you know, when we took over, I felt bad because I felt that people might miss Tom. And over the years, knowing him to be a good broadcaster, I felt that there was a place for him on television. So the answer to your question is yes. And I'm not saying this because I work with Dave, but what you don't know about this man, and which he hides very cleverly, is his reverence for the history of broadcasting, for its pioneers, for its traditions, and for its excellence. He truly has reverence for what is in the museums in terms of broadcasting, and for all who have gone before you, me, Bob, and he, in terms of the people who made this industry as great as I believe it to be.
May I just say one last thing, then I'll shut up and give Bob equal
this will
time.
This will be cheered by millions of people coast to coast.
I'm going to put my glasses on. I'm going to retreat.
I just took a nap.
I'm going to hide behind my glasses.
All right.
Are you asking us then, Tom, to believe that Dave Letterman had a grand scheme and saw this on a grand scale while you saw it just as a job? Do you expect me to believe that you are not seeing this move as something grander than just another job and just a continuation?
Where did you get the idea? Where did you get the idea that it's just another job? I mean, what I have here today is, I mean, I'm leaving the greatest job in broadcasting. You know, and by the way, you're not running the O.J. Simpson trial here, pal. You're just talking to one of your colleagues, okay? Of course I'm thrilled to go to CBS. And of course it's wonderful to go back to late night television. I mean, and isn't it wonderful in one lifetime to be able to follow Johnny Carson for almost 9 years, and now to follow David Letterman for whatever the term of this show is? I mean, in one's lifetime, to be paired with the two singularly greatest late-night broadcasters in all of television makes me one of the luckiest people in the world.
All right.
And by the way, can I tell you one other thing, Geraldo, that you should know?
Okay.
I'm real good at what I do, pal, and that's why I'm doing it.
All right.
Oh,
sitting
a little late here in the crowd.
Better late than never.
Yeah, right. Better late than never, yeah. Here is Ron on the toll-free in Lexington, Kentucky. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Snyder.
Good evening, Ron.
I thought I'd give you a call tonight because I figured maybe I wouldn't get in tomorrow night. They didn't send any phone calls. I wanted to say that I watched you while you were on NBC.
Thanks.
And you always have a very nice talk show. You're very articulate and very professional person. And never have I ever seen a show that you've ever done. That's,
I appreciate that, but time's a wasting, and I want you to say hi to Bob
sort of
Berkowitz.
brain dead like Sally, whoever's...
Sally appreciates that. I'll tell her when I see her for dinner later.
Okay.
Anyway, did you want to talk to Bob Berkowitz and Geraldo Rivera? They're right here.
Well, actually, I guess I had a question for Geraldo. I was wondering if the elimination of the cameras in the courtroom by Judge Ito would have stopped a lot of this posturing and carrying on by Shapiro and maybe bringing out some of the comments from the Brown family and that sort of thing.
I think if anything, it's minimized it. The camera in the courtroom is the only truth there is in this case. All the rest is hyperbole and opinion. The cameras in the courtroom will not be thrown out. Nobody wants them really to be thrown out, and I don't think they will be.
Ron, I'm glad you called. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Keep
All right.
up the good work.
Okay, we'll see you later, pal. Bye-bye. And to Linda now in Newport News, Virginia. Hi.
Yes, hello, Tom.
Hi, Linda.
I have a question for Geraldo.
Okay.
Geraldo Rivera, I watch you during the day in your day talk show, and I enjoy the show very much. And I would just like to know which of all of your shows that you've done throughout the past years is the most difficult one that clicks in your head as soon as you hear the question, what was the most difficult interview you've ever done?
You know, I get asked that question from time to time. I can never answer it because there's been so many, and I felt so much or so little over the years. Just today, I taped a show on carjacking with little babies in the car seats. You know, the real Susan Smith lied about it, but that really does happen. And I had lots of victims and some perpetrators on my stage just today, and maybe because I'm in kind of postpartum depression with a newborn baby. I was so emotional that I was crying in the broadcast. It's just really, it depends. Tom can tell you, it depends so much on how you're feeling, how much you identify, how much you get involved in these stories that Bob, Tom, and I do on a daily basis. Sometimes I'm feeling more removed. Other times I'm feeling that it's very much more viscerally about it. I don't know. I think one of the reasons that all three of us have been around so long is that the person you see on camera is the real person. We're not any different in if you meet us in person than we are on the two.
Yeah, except Berkowitz is a blonde off camera.
Hey, what's my name, Tom? People always say, come up to give me the name that Snyder gives me.
What's that?
What's the name that you always call me, Tom?
Oh, Berkowitz.
Yeah.
Fellas, Linda, thanks for calling us, pal, okay?
Tom, I also have another question for you.
Okay.
Do you have any more of mementos from your hidden away?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but the larder is empty. Call us at CBS. We'll have all kinds of new stuff over there. Okay?
They got
any
more bucks over
on
there.
The holiday like David Letterman did for Thanksgiving?
I beg your pardon?
Any turkeys on the holidays like David Letterman did on Thanksgiving?
No, I'm sorry. I don't have any turkeys. Linda, I'm glad you called. Thank you.
Anyway, to the audience, if you will have an audience during Christmas time?
There's no quitting her, I'll tell you. No quit. Linda, we will not have a studio audience in the studio, but we will be sending things out to our loyal viewers from time to time. So you tune in and we'll have something real nice for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Have a happy holiday season.
You too.
Okay, back to the cooking sherry. Night-night now. Gentlemen, Geraldo, thanks for staying over tonight, my friend. I truly appreciate it.
We love you, Tom. We wish you the best.
Hey, I loved you back. You know that.
Listen, Tom, I love you also. You know, Tom, you've been, it's rare that you get to work with somebody who you've admired for so many years from afar, and it's been just a real honor and a pleasure. And when people say to me, what's Tom Snyder like? I said, you know, what you see is what you get. The guy's the same on the air as he is off, and it's
a schmuck.
It's been a great
We're going to miss you, Tommy. We are going to miss you, buddy.
All right, I'll be around, Geraldo. Thanks for coming on tonight, fellas, and come see us at CBS. You're both welcome there, okay?
Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, gentlemen. By the way, Bob, what's the topic tonight?
Sex trends for the 90s, Tom. What's yours?
Get off me. Get off me, Bob. Thanks again, gentlemen. God bless and be well. We'll see you soon. Bob Berkowitz on the air weeknights at 11 o'clock on CNBC with Real Personal. And, of course, the legendary Geraldo Rivera, 9 o'clock Eastern Time on CNBC and in syndication throughout the country. We're running just a bit late. Elayne Boosler is right around the corner. Come on back after these messages.
Captain.
Only one adult cereal could be this much fun to eat. Basic 4. A playful mixture of textures and tastes with crispy flakes, sweet and tangy fruits, and crunchy nuts. Splash on cold milk and get something tasty from the 4 food groups. Basic 4. Tastes so good.
Will that be all, son?
You'll forget it's for adults.
It has numerous refinements that reduce wear and tear on moving parts. Your hands, back, and eyes, to name a few. Presenting the BMW of luxury cars.
The beaches here are great. But the sandcastles are fantastic. Call today, 1-800-44-MEXICO.
Aren't faxes great? Easy to handle, easy to copy. Always perfectly flat, with no annoying curls, right? Wrong. That's why all Brother fax machines are designed to give you flat faxes, whether it's a thermal fax machine with our ACS anti-curl system or one of our new plain paper laser models. You'll get the fax straight the very first time. Brother fax machines. Get the fax straight.
I'm Bob Berkowitz. Where is sex going in the 90s? Are we pushing the envelope too far? Join us for a candid look at who's doing what with whom.
Next on Real Personal, only on CNBC.
Money Tonight. Whether it's a steal or a deal, you'll hear about it here first. From your home to your car to your health. Janice Lieberman and Sue Herrera tell you what to look out for. David Horowitz answers all your consumer questions. Money Tonight, only on CNBC.
You're watching CNBC, home of the Talk All-Stars. Music Express, voted #1 by the National Limousine Association, has offices in Los Angeles and the East Coast. Music Express can handle your corporate limousine needs anywhere in the U.S. and worldwide.
Very funny. We are back. As soon as I put this microphone on, the program would continue. Play the music for a minute.
You should have mime on.
There we go.
There you go.
Now here is Elayne Boosler, one of... that's okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Music. Here is Elayne Boosler, one of the most popular comedians on the circuit, star of many award-winning cable television specials, and our pal, who dropped by to help close the joint down.
Let's talk body piercing. That's my favorite subject. What's wrong with that guy?
You got married on Saturday, and you're here tonight. What happened to your honeymoon, love?
Well, you didn't see us in the green room, did you? We had a honeymoon in September.
Oh, I see.
Yes, because
okay.
we wanted to go
before the wedding, right?
To make sure that it was the right thing
Exactly
to do.
right, yeah.
Yes, so, and the wedding's great. It has not cut into my dating whatsoever, which I'm very grateful for. It's amazing. You get married and God puts 50 gorgeous men in your path a day. I think, what is this? I never saw, and they talk to me. They must know I'm married. Now they're talking to me. They never talked to me before.
And do you wear the ring?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, very good.
We're not diamond ring people. It's just a little thing.
I understand.
Because I have to go to the gym and lift weights. I can't take it off.
And how long had you known your husband before you married him?
Well, he was paroled 3 months ago. And we wrote for many years. But, you know, I get letters from every inmate in America. But I'm telling you my home address. They have my phone number. But I run into agents at parties. Oh, I had a job for you, but I didn't know how to get hold of you. Really? Every convict in America has my home address. And you couldn't find me to get me a commercial. Next time you have work for me, you call San Quentin, ask for Vinny, and he'll tell you where to send the letter. Guys can never find me, but guys doing life write to me while I wait. You know, only agents can find me. That's enough.
To be serious, how long had you known your husband? Tell us about the wedding. Was it nice? You wore the white dress?
The most expensive part of the wedding was hiring the helicopter so we would look really important. We went with 3. We thought that was enough.
Yeah.
Had to impress the out-of-town relatives. We had to hire them to buzz over. I think everyone hires their own helicopters. I don't think anyone in a helicopter cares if you're getting married. I think everyone hires them, so don't look important. I didn't have a dress. It didn't get made. I went 4 days before the wedding to pick it up, and the woman said, you know, I don't know why I took you on. I'm just so busy. I said, oh, I'm getting married in 4 days. I waited years and years. Well, this will be a lesson for my future. It's a growth experience for me. That's what she said to me.
Right.
I said, I really don't care about you. So I went to my cleaners, just hysterical, crying. You know, Sam, 10 years I've been bringing this guy cleaning. He has a guy in the corner who, you know, came to this country for a potato. He shortens pants. He said, I make the dress. I said, you make the dress. You know, it's in 2 days. I make the dress. He made the dress. It was, it was great. I own big, you know. It was a little mermaid dress. Everything was mermaids and surfers.
Now, you brought your invitation, and if you don't mind, let me show, because I got the close-up camera right here behind me. This is very, very cute.
Well, he's a surfer. I mean, he rides motorcycles and surfs. I got the guy I prayed for in high school.
Believe it or not.
A beached mermaid. There you go.
Inside. Boo. Yay.
Well, yeah, I think they're too frightened.
Yeah.
Too frightened. Probably get sued by Mr. Baffo, one of the great cartoon strips of all time. And I borrowed it for my invitation.
That's very,
such
very
a great
cute.
strip.
And then for registration, when friends asked where you were registered for gifts, and go ahead, take a bow.
Oh, no, well, we did 2 charities. We wrote a note and sent it out. Dear Abby will forgive us. You're not supposed to ever write about gifts. But we just wanted people to know. We wrote, we're old. We have enough wine glasses. So we picked a charity each. And he was at the Bobby Brooks Foundation for Education. And I chose the Lighthouse in New York. So that's where all our gifts went, to these 2 charities.
Aren't you nice? That's terrific.
No, we just thought we had everything we needed. And maybe other people could get some happiness out of our happiness.
To be serious for a second, you've known the gentleman for some time. I mean, he's
we met at the inauguration.
Oh, really?
Yes, and we're doing much better than Clinton. You know, we met at the inauguration. I was performing, and he manages Crosby, Stills and Nash, and they were performing. So we met, and then I went back 100 days later to do the White House press correspondence dinner. So it was 100 days later, and everyone was grading the president. And I went up and I said, I feel so guilty because I met someone at your inauguration, and I fell in love, and I just feel so bad because I had such a much better first 100 days than you did. And he laughed, and I said, well, of course, I have a lot more cooperation in the House. But and then I gave him my tips for a better administration. I said, no matter what Congress says, just say, yes, darling, it works. You know, just say that. So.
Well, congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I got to do a fast break. We'll continue with Elayne Boosler and some of your phone calls and more stuff on the other side of this break. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is CNBC.
This program is sponsored by Alliance Capital.
Oh, fun for hours!
Oh, perfect for parties.
Oh, these will keep me toasty.
Oh, my own mutual fund. Presenting the gift of shares, a mutual fund gift from Alliance Capital. For just $250, you can start anyone you love investing this holiday season. The gift of shares, another way Alliance Capital gives you mutual funds without the mystery.
What if we got a hill and made it snow?
Audi Quattro, all-wheel drive, all the time, transfers power to the wheels with the most traction.
Wait, no, scratch the snow. Keep the hill and get something really slippery.
So Quattro goes places the Mercedes C280 and BMW 325i, even with traction control, never dreamed. And it goes there for less.
Nah, they'd never believe it.
Audi Quattro from 27,170 from the soul of Audi.
We could really use a vacation.
Come and discover the continent of Puerto Rico. Discover the warmth of our tropical beaches, the wonders of our natural beauty, the legends of our centuries-old cities, and the challenges of everything you've ever wanted to do. Only a continent could offer so many great vacation experiences. Only Puerto Rico puts it all within your reach.
Do you forget everything if you don't write it down?
Well, you need MemoMate, the new electronic notepad that's as fast as you speak.
Don't forget your 2 o'clock appointment.
And it never forgets.
Don't forget your 2 o'clock appointment.
New microchip technology makes MemoMate smaller than a business card and featherweight.
Honey, don't forget to pick up the kids at 4.
It's great for busy schedules, too.
Don't forget to pick up the kids at 4.
Put it on your key ring and you'll remember everything.
Blue section, row 15.
You can use it to remember where you parked.
Blue section, row 15.
Or use it to remember directions.
Right on Oak Street.
You need a MemoMate.
Right on Oak Street, left on...
This microchip technology could cost you $199. But now, get MemoMate for just $19.95. So don't forget, call now. Don't forget, call now.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-733-8300. The incredible MemoMate is just $19.95. Call now, 1-800-733-8300.
If you'd like to purchase a VHS copy of the preceding program, please send $19.95 plus $3.50 shipping and handling with the name, air date, and subject of the program to Burrell's, P.O. Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039. For credit card orders, please call 1-800-777-8398.
We are back with Elayne Boosler. I can't tell you how great it is to see you. You bring joy to this studio whenever you come in here.
Oh.
And I really appreciate your coming. I mean, we're not through yet, but in case I run out of time here.
Okay.
Thanks a million.
It is my pleasure, and I'm always flattered. Somehow when they're closing the place down, they always call me. I was at the last Bergdorf Goodman sale. I got a lamp, and that went. Trump Tower was put up.
Listen,
I think Costas, I threw him off the air. He hasn't worked since. I'm glad to be here,
Listen,
Tom.
I've done more farewells than the student prince, love, okay? Oh, man. I've said goodbye more times than I could tell you.
Well, I'm flattered to hear.
You still keep a place back in New York City,
yes,
right?
I do. You know, apartment living was so new to me after so many years out here, and I just couldn't get used to it. The phone rings, I come out naked, and I see thousands of people looking in the window. And the first year, I felt like I was in the biosphere. Is she growing sprouts in there? You know, because everyone's looking in at my life. You know, I'm not used to being in a high-rise.
Right.
So, I love the Gypsy Kings, and I love Bambaleo. It's one of their songs. So I'm getting ready one morning to go out, and I hit Bambaleo really loud. I figure, well, I'll be out of here soon. And I hit repeat. And then I walk out of the apartment.
Oh, my God.
And I'm gone for 10 hours.
Oh, my God. It's
and I
worse
don't
than the
think
alarm
about
going
it.
off, yeah.
Oh, but it is worse than a car alarm. You know, any song after 10 hours. I drive up to 74th Street. There's a conga line coming out of my building. I'm over the river. I see fish in formation. I think, oh, my God. I get in my apartment. I don't know yet. You know, it's 10 hours later, and I put the key in the door, and I go, Bambaleo. I thought, I'm out of here. I'm dead. You know, I open the door. Ding, dong. It's the super. Hand over the tape. Yes, sir. That was it. You have to learn how to live places. You can't just show up.
Right.
You know? Oh, boy.
Here is Margie joining us on the toll-free in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Margie. How are you?
I'm very fine. I just wanted to tell you that it's because of you that I discovered CNBC and all the great innovative programming, and including your guest tonight, as well as Posner and Donahue and Dick Cavett. I've loved all of you.
Thanks.
I particularly have enjoyed your wit and charm.
Thank you.
And your personal touch, which means so much to so many people.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
That's lovely.
It's very nice to
Are you
hear.
giving anything away?
We're not giving... First prize is dinner with Elayne Boosler.
Oh, thank you so much.
Second prize is breakfast, lunch, and dinner with him.
Listen, I got married so I had to do the Macy's parade this year. I couldn't ride that doodlebug again. I just couldn't do it again.
Margie, say hi to Elayne. She's right here next to me.
Hi, Elayne.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask you, are you surprised how many comedians there are on national television now compared with how males dominated the comedy field for so many years?
Well, now that they've stopped drowning them at birth, it's just sweeping the nation. And it's wonderful. It's just excellent, and it's diverse, which is great. So I'm very happy about it.
I can barely hear you.
Really?
She said she's very happy about it.
Oh, well, I know that women in general are happy to see more women in comedy, and I think it's great that we have that resurgence.
Well, I agree. Is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Margie, I'm glad you called. Have a very happy holiday season, okay?
Thank you, and good luck to you. And you're forcing me to use my VCR, you know that.
I'm going to try and force you to stay up late, Margie.
Okay.
All right, pal. Happy, and thanks for calling.
Hey, a woman who can work her VCR. Hold on.
Anybody who can work their VCR. Well done.
Yes.
Now, you told me in the break that the producer of The Late Show with David Letterman, Robert Morton, who's been my colleague over at NBC, I've known Morty for 15 years, that he lives one floor below you in said apartment in New York.
Yes, he lives right under me in that apartment. And when they weren't putting me on a Letterman show, I have a 70-pound boxer, and I used to put tap shoes on him at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, and put bologna around the chandeliers.
And go ahead. What do you do at 11:30 at night?
You want me to tell?
Of course I do.
Oh, no one's going to like me anymore.
Oh, sure they are.
Okay, when I'm in New York, in my apartment, and I know that Morty is home downstairs at 11:30, and he is the producer of the David Letterman show. Right. 11:30 sharp every night. I open the terrace doors, I open the windows, I blast the Jay Leno show, and I laugh. I yell at the dog, he's brilliant! And I hear doors slamming and windows slamming. There. Oh, it just makes me so happy.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Morty needs a little discipline as we go along.
Get him 2 coffee.
So you're off to New York for the holidays.
Yeah, which should be wonderful, I think.
And what have you got coming up that we can tout here? Any...
Well, I'm looking forward to a good haircut now that I'm married. I think life has to change somehow. You get married.
Finally, you can get rid of all this.
Well, no, I can't. This is it. But you think that life changes and you're grown up and things will be right now. And I looked and I still have this hair.
Didn't you tell me the last time you wished you made it straight one time?
I made it straight for years. I slept on a big orange juice can, and I had one big arm from the blower, and life's too short.
I know it is.
Yes,
now, out of the shower, and there it is, right?
Yeah, it ain't good, but it's fast. That's it. So if anyone likes me enough to want to give me a wedding gift, it's Lighthouse Incorporated in New York, and or the Bobby Brooks Foundation. We were really happy to be able to do that.
Why is it that women who have curly hair long to have straight hair and vice versa?
Oh, you know how people dream in color? I dream in straight hair. I do. I dream in straight blonde hair. That's why, you know, hairdressers all own houses and we all rent. Everybody wants...
But they don't have, right?
Everyone wants the opposite. It's just you're a makeup woman who's this gorgeous creature standing there.
Yeah.
Lovely person, gorgeous, straight blonde hair. I walked in and went, she should be on, not me. And she looks, oh, your hair. You know, you just want to hit these people.
Oh, I know. And you know, she comes out of the pool and it's all perfect when she, don't you?
Oh, really? She comes out of the pool, your makeup woman?
So I'm told.
Well, lawsuit. Well, the pool. How do you get jobs around here anyway?
There's a way.
I guess so.
It's a joke. Stop it now. Come on.
Better take a phone call.
No, I better get out of here.
Okay.
Thank you so much for gracing our stage.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for letting me come and say goodbye. Good luck.
Thank you very kindly.
Yes.
And you come see us at the new place, okay? All right.
Thanks.
Elayne Boosler, folks, you'll watch for her on TV and all. What time are we off? 57:10?
20.
Oh, that's not far from now. Start the music first.
Music first.
Thank you very kindly. We just run it from the thing. Yeah, okay?
A little menorah action.
Thanks, boys. Back tomorrow night, same time, same station with Bob Newhart and Larry Bud Melman, better known as Calvert DeForest. Stay tuned for Berkowitz. Drive safely on the way home. Thanks for watching, and good night, everybody.
This is a CNBC News Break. I'm Mike Salort. The cost of mailing a letter goes up 3 cents after the holidays. The Postal Rate Commission approved the hike today. Final approval expected in December. O.J. Simpson's lawyers complain about how their client's being treated by his in-laws. The defense is upset that Denise Brown...